Hi guys, Alice Taylor down here at Living Golf Academy, and today we're going to do a little comparison of the PXG first generation and generation 2 irons. So I've got the 0311T iron in both. I'm going to hit 5 real balls on GC2 into a target. Kind of certainly the big difference with generation 2 according to PXG is more forgiving. The material in the head transfers energy a little bit better, and the face is a little bit thinner. So we're looking for more ball speed, more distance and more forgiveness. But we're going to hit 5 real balls into the green. We're going to look at the dispersion of the shot, see how many greens are hit with both 7-irons. But we're also then going to look at some numbers for ball speed and distance that I've hit it, and see if generation 2 is as good as PXG are saying. I mean, to be fair to them, they're saying only 1 to 2 mile an hour quicker. Both of the lofts are 32 degrees on these 7-irons, so like for like, I'm going to put the same shaft in. But I'm going to start with generation 2. I've got the flag set 171 yards away, so I would expect this 7-iron to probably pitch roundabout, maybe just short of that, jump forward and stop. But we'll go with generation 2, and then we'll go on to the original 0311T iron. So I think it looks good behind the ball. Maybe just looks a touch bigger visually, but still really like the look of it, and still expecting the feel to be absolutely fantastic. So just turn that over a touch, but pretty decent. And for one that I didn't feel was absolutely perfect there, I'd take that all day long into the green. Shot 2. So that one's a little bit clean. Again, very, very good. Comfortably onto the green. Not too far from the hole. So I don't feel I've really got either of those absolutely flush as yet. Again, felt nice and solid. Just not turning over quite as much, but a much better strike, that one. And I think that's round about the distance I would hope for with this club. So the last couple. So again, maybe just a touch low on the club face. Are we going in? Are we going in? No, not quite. But again, very good. And one final one. A good solid strike. Just turning over a touch. That was the best strike out of the lot. Flown a little bit further. But all 5 on the green, and I still think that feels incredibly soft, looks really good, and obviously the tee is aimed at the better player. But let's just switch over onto the generation 2 model, so onto the original model. And I think certainly when you look at the back of the 2 clubs, you know, visually different. I think the generation 2 maybe just looks a little bit chunky, higher up on the back of the club. But certainly as you look at the top line on both, maybe a little bit chunky with generation 2, but still very, very good looking golf club. So going back onto the original one, which, you know, when this was first launched, PXG caused a bit of a stir with what they're charging for the equipment. So it's being attacked by a horsefly. So definitely looks a little bit more compact behind the golf ball. I don't mind that personally. Definitely turn that over a little bit more. So that's going to be the first one that misses left. Going to go a long way, that one. So is that the club or is that me? That definitely felt like I got the club face a little bit more closed than I would like to at impact. That one's better. So safely into the middle of the green. Shot number 3. Felt nice and solid. Just turning over a little bit. Pretty decent. Last couple with the original 0311T. That one just trying to turn back. Not quite. Let's see if we can get this one nice and close. That's a good solid strike. Just hanging out to the right. That's missing the green. Okay guys, so certainly generation 2 I hit all 5 greens. Original one there I only hit 3. Is that the club's more forgiving, or is that down to me being a little bit different at impact? Probably a bit of both. But let's look at some numbers and kind of look at kind of ball speed. I've not got these dotted up to be getting right into exact strikes. So club head speed might look a little bit different, but it's ball speed I want to focus on and distance that the golf ball's gone. Okay, so we can see original 116 ball speed, generation 2 117. Now there was a couple of strikes that were a little low off the face, and I think what we saw there, that there was more of a drop off with the original and the good ones weren't quite as good at that nearly 119, where I had one at 123 with generation 2. So definitely for me there's a bit more speed there. Launch angle almost identical. We kind of expect that. The loft's the same, not too much changed in kind of the weighting. Peak height exactly the same, but certainly seeing that little bit more distance, predominantly down to maybe the backspin just being a bit lower there, but seeing a little bit more distance out of generation 2. Right guys, so PXG generation 2 irons, does that kind of live up to the hype? I mean, for me that's everything that kind of PXG are promising. The same, maybe 1 to 2 mile an hour quicker. Saw that pick up in ball speed. I was surprised the spin dropped off like it did, so that would probably say why there was a little bit more yardage than I would have expected. But did it feel more forgiving? Absolutely. Does it still look great as the 0311T? Yes, I could still very happily put that in my bag, and I think that'd sit very comfortably against any other blade. You know, so PXG stuff's not going to be for everyone. It's not at that price point the same for everybody, but the product life cycle tends to be a little bit longer. I don't know what's coming in the future. It might not be that kind of 3-year gap that we've seen initially, but is generation 2 better than generation 1? Yes, for me, based on performance, and that's ultimately what you buy in the clubs for. They still feel incredibly soft and still look great. So if you're in the market for PXG, definitely be looking at generation 2 irons. Obviously the 4 different models this year rather than the 3 from the original ones, but certainly going to have something in there for everybody catering for ball flight. So guys, hope you've enjoyed the video. If you have, like and share. Comment below and I'll get back to as many of you as I can. Subscribe to my channel if you don't already. Follow me on all my social media platforms, all under Ali Taylor Golf. Hopefully catch up with some of you guys down here in the future. Stay in contact.